can tell I got out here a little early because we caught them still snoozing a little bit. But you see how they're all lined up. They know what comes next, which is dinner. Breakfast, not dinner. But it definitely snapped down cold a little bit again last night. We're at in the 10 degree, 0 to 10 degree range today, which I'm all right with. It gives us a beautiful sky. I mean, look at the sky. That's west. And then as we pan north and then over to east, we have a swift sunrise. It's beautiful. We're gonna, looks like the dogs are catching some breakfast, and we're gonna feed these girls. All right, let's do it. Look at that. Doug, I know you watch these sometimes, so I'll just say, you make some great hay. I'm gonna buy hay from you as long as you're willing to make it, I think. We got to solve this little issue. Bob's trying to keep the feeder all to himself, and we can't have that. Bob, you got to share, man. This is what they'll get for the morning. I'm coming out a couple times today, and I've liked splitting up their feeding into twice a day or even 3 times a day, and I know that seems trifling, but it's really good because they clean it up better. I mean, they still trample some and they manure some, but they are less likely to get a full belly and then flop down and lay on it and then manure all over it. See, Bob, he's being a bit of a troublemaker. I mean, he's a good guard dog, so he's being good that way, but he's been kind of growling and snapping at the 2 girls, just telling them he's boss. But he still comes over for some pets over here. You're a good boy, aren't you? So, anyway, it's time for a cup of coffee and to get to my real job. Can't wait for the end of that when I can stop saying that and just, this is my real job. But we're not there yet, so push forward.
Hey, just real quick, I just wanted to interrupt and just point people towards our website, theburklefarm.com. Anne's been putting some recipes with good pictures and instructions up there. I think she's committed to doing one a week or one every couple of weeks. And kind of the reason behind that is, in talking to people, one of the things that's intimidating about buying halves or quarters or wholes of an animal and kind of getting into better food is kind of how to break that down and cook it and do it without needing some sort of master chef class. And Anne's a tremendous cook, and I'm lucky to have her. And it's, I think sometimes it shows in my waistline because she makes such good food. But if you are interested in that, she makes food, and we have a pretty big family, so it's something that can be scaled up or down, and it's kind of all over the place. I know the first recipe she uploaded was Chinese food, and I can't remember what the other one was. But listen, if you want to eat good food and you don't know where to begin as far as what to do with it once you've bought it, whether it's beef or lamb or chicken or whatever, just bookmark our website, and she'll be uploading those occasionally. All right, thanks.
Well, it's Peter. It's Monday afternoon. Yeah, Monday afternoon. I'm kind of hiding behind a hay bale, so hopefully that's damping down some of the wind that we're seeing. It's been a pleasant surprise to see these guard dogs. When I drove up, they were all clustered right on the flock with none of, staying tight to the animals. That's been the, and I don't know if you can see the adult dogs laying down behind the feeder. But it's been a bit of an issue to have, where I think because I kind of pulled them back and forth when they were puppies or, and I got this adult dog later, I don't know how tightly they were originally bonded onto my flock. But it's been fun today. It's like a switch flipped, and all 3 of them were tied onto the flock, and I watched that white puppy there get absolutely run into the ground by, actually that ewe right there, and no barking, no snapping. So I know they got a ways to go, but it's been very good to see, and I'm deeply encouraged by it. We're having kind of an odd change of weather. It was cold and cleared this morning, and as you can see, it's warmed up, but it's become overcast, and I think we got some snow coming our way again. But we're just feeding the animals. You can see them kind of down a line. Here, I can come out of the hay bales, and I'll apologize in advance for the noise. But yeah, what's been very interesting is I'm watching this dog eat, and she's such an oddball. I have a brick in there just so the dogs can have, they're learning still. I got to take that brick out probably this spring so the lid closes. But she paws the feed out and then eats it off the ground like a weirdo. There doesn't seem to be a lot of waste, so that seems all right. There's the adult dog looking all relaxed. Hey, puppers. And here's Bob. He is definitely a lovey-dovey kind of guy. It's kind of like the case of Goldilocks. Too cold, too warm. He loves people just a little too much. And then just right. But he is definitely turning into the boss. I watched him whip both dogs today. So it's interesting to see the youngest dog whipped the older puppy and the older dog. You can see they're just eating in a row. And this is what I fed them this morning, and you can see they cleaned it up pretty good. Bob, get down. So it's just a chore day. Nothing special going on, and nothing's tripped in my mind to talk about, but we're just gonna continue to show the progression through winter. All right. Well, I went back home and I was looking at my Energizer, and it was saying it was kind of low, so I started just looking around, and I count 1, 2, 3 trees that are falling down on my this is just a little 2-wire interior fence that separates that field from that field. And so I have 3 trees to cut out here, and I'm just gonna maybe take a walk around the whole property, because even in the winter you need a hot fence. But I mean, if it gives you an idea of how deep this snow is, and it just disappears. So this is about 2.5 feet deep even after that melt. So I guess it's chainsaw time. I got 3 trees to cut off of this fence, and I'm gonna guess that there's a couple others when I walk the whole farm. So I guess I'm getting a workout in today. I'll lug around a chainsaw and cut trees off my fence. Fun stuff. Well, today's the day that the dogs went off their weights and their leashes. All right, Bob. And I admit to being a bit nervous about it, mostly out of I don't want the frustration of having to chase them across the countryside. I mean, they have their GPS collars on, and if you look at that, that ewe is messing Shep up. Good job, ewe. Yeah, he just loves getting pets, and I'm not giving him any. Anyway, I have their GPS collars on, so I could always find them. But it's just one of those things where I know I have to eventually give them trust and give them chances to succeed. And otherwise they'll never learn. Hey, girl. Yeah. And so far, so good. They've been extremely active. I've watched them on the map, and they've been zipping, all the way across this field in big, wide circles. And making me a little nervous, but they've stayed in. So I think they are earning some trust. I will have to just keep a weather eye on them as we get into the evening and at night, but we'll do our best. Forward progress, and I'm sure these dogs will act out and misbehave in a number of different ways, but they're only 6 months old. They got a ways to go before I'd be really worried about it. But anyway, not a whole lot going on. Just rolling out the afternoon hay. See, this is like a little bit of the bale left, and giving them something to eat. They really cleaned up. This is where they got hay today, right here, and they really cleaned that up, so I must have not given them enough. So we will just offer them the remainder of this bale, and they'll get this until tomorrow. Right, Bob? All right.